I get money in my sleep, I could never be weak.
Let me ask you a question, boys.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, man. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Bush. We back in it, back at it, and all that other stuff. Man, today is something that I guess the inevitable. A lot of my friends been telling me, a lot of people been telling me, but at the same time, I didn't want to believe it. I'm a Brooklyn boy, you know. Today's show is about somebody that, you know, I grew up off of and things like that. But hey, the truth must be told. It is what it ain't. Today we talk about Jay-Z. We're going to go over the stuff that he got in the files. We're going to go over certain things. It's crazy as hell. You know, first of all, let's set it all. See, because people tried to warn us. People in the industry definitely tried to warn us. They said things, we blew it over. We like, whatever. Jay is a businessman. He a crude businessman. It's about money, you know. But at the same time, it's more than that. Let's set it off. Before we get into the files and what's going on in the files, first of all, y'all remember what Gilly the Kid said when he was on the club Shay Shay? Let's start with that. Let's get into that. You feel me? He said some things that I think went over a lot of people's head. So let's start with that. We're going to keep it pushing. There's a whole lot of stuff.
Tried to sign you.
Today.
And you tried to sign you, your group offered you 12 points. What are points in a rap?
How do you know about this shit? Number one, who you have some?
Man,
you got some good digging this shit up.
We gotta. Hey, look here. If you know this,
yes,
you put a team together. If you can't trust your team implicitly, you need to get new team members.
Absolutely. Absolute points is like, you know, when you how many records you sell, how much money you gonna get on the back end, residual.
Oh, it's not like the points you're not gonna get against Bronny, right?
No.
Okay, go ahead, I'm gonna use.
See, Gilly ain't the type that's gonna bite his tongue. Gilly been speaking about it. People just wasn't listening. Now watch what he say though.
You were saying point.
So back in the day, Hove tried to sign my group Major Figures. It wasn't just Hove, it was Dame Dash, it was Rockefeller.
Okay.
You know, I didn't feel as though that the contract was right, so I didn't accept it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I did a solo deal with Tony Draper and Suave House. He's my great friend to this day. Two other artists that was on Major Figures, Dutch and Spade, they went over to Entertainment. Another artist that was on Major Figures, Ab Lava, he went over to Dr. Dre. So we kind of had this Optimus Prime thing going on where everybody could go get their own money on a solo thing, and we're going to do the group together.
I always wondered why Gilly ain't signed, and I was like, Gilly's stupid. He could have been with Rockefeller, but come to find out, Gilly was a smart one the whole time.
Jay and Dame came back with the offer. I didn't like the offer. I thought it was a slave deal. I thought we would have to sell a quadrillion records to make some money, so I turned it down, and that was the situation.
But what transpired after that?
I mean, some things, you know, some things were said about making it difficult for, you know, for whatever.
For you to be in this game.
You know, but
does that happen a lot?
Yes.
If you refuse to sign with someone, it's like, okay, you're done. You're not gonna work in this industry.
It happens a lot in this game, you know, especially to a young kid that got talent, that's young and naive. You're like, you man, what do you mean you're gonna make it difficult? I believe in God, nigga, shut up. But the reality of it is that they can make it difficult for you. You gotta understand, Wallow was in jail, right? And he used to call home. And I used to say, cuz they blackballing me, man. And I didn't know that he thought that I was full of shit until he came home. And then we would bump into people and they would tell us, like, no, Gilly was on the list. That, like, you gotta understand, shout out to—
Once you turn down Hove, yeah, he probably put the word out, fuck that kid. Don't fuck with him. He turned me down. Let that kid rot in the hood.
Cypher Sounds, you gotta understand, because I was talented, people didn't want to block me. So he brought me up to MTV. I was on MTV, I did an interview on MTV. And the interview was so powerful that They got a call from Universal. Said you'll never get an exclusive again. Wow. If you interview me. I'm just a kid just trying to get on. You got to understand, I'm in the car, I'm on my way to 50 Cent house because 50 Cent wanted to sign me. Shout out to 50, you know what I mean? And I'm in a truck with Cosmic Kev. Shout out, biggest DJ from Philadelphia. And he calls DJ Khaled. And he says, man, Gilly got this record that's moving. And Khaled says, yeah, Gilly, I see the record is moving. Yeah, oh, yeah. You know, all this fake shit, you know. And then says, are you still beefing with Lil Wayne, though? I said, what? The f does that have to do with you, man? First of all, Wayne dissed me.
Right.
Anybody I ever had an issue with, they started the shit. I never start nothing. I mind my business. Anybody know Gilly, he sit around, he smoke his weed, he work, he do his work, and he mind his business. Anybody I ever had an issue with, ever, they started the shit with me. It's just that I'm ultra aggressive.
Ultra.
So then when I come back, it's like, damn, that was crazy. Like, no, if I'm getting in the ring with you, bro, I'm not throwing jabs. I'm throwing jabs and hooks and uppercuts. I'm trying to get you the f out of here.
Right.
So for me, it's always just been, I mind my business, you f with me, then you get what come with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But back when I was speaking on, because you got me off this goddamn cognac, it kind of
That shit good though, ain't it?
smooth too.
Yeah. We gonna see you with a bottle. You
Yeah,
let you
man,
celebrate.
motherfucker smooth through my thought process. He gets you with that shit, man. You know what I mean, man? Shout out to this though, man.
Shea by Laportier.
Shea Bottle, let me tell you something.
It's a VSOP that drinks like an XO.
And this shit smooth too. He sneak up on you. Motherfucker run up on you like a bank robber.
What have you learned, or what did you learn, or how have you learned about the music industry?
I learned that all of that shit is fake.
Really?
Yes. All of it, that's why I don't go to no parties. Because all of it is fake. All of it is a bunch of
Boy
fluff.
talking.
All of it is a bunch of drunk.
Y'all remember that famous Rock Nation brunch? The Rock Nation brunch. I got invited to the Rock Nation brunch. Oh.
I need each other. Man, we gonna get together, man. This the year, baby. Yeah. I ain't even got your number. Shut up. You ain't got to lie to me no more.
This shit make a lot of them dudes look crazy. First of all, DJ Khaled, Memphis Bleak. This is turning the whole world upside down. But hey, we seen it happen before. It's gonna happen again. It happened with Diddy. It could happen to anybody. The whole world could come crumbling down. And you know, this is all opinions. As far as the Epstein stuff, we're gonna get into that. But he's innocent and still proven guilty. But it's looking bad. Instagram followers is dropping. Rumors of divorce. I don't know if that's true or not. You smell me? I definitely seen a post, and Wiz Khalifa commented. There was a post saying, "Oh, Beyonce want to leave Jay-Z. Divorce is coming up because of the Epstein thing." And I seen Wiz Khalifa leaving a post in the comments. He said, "Just cry about it and keep it pushing." I'm like, damn. Wiz threw that in the comments. Official Wiz Khalifa. That was crazy.
Rich.
But see, he gonna get into that brunch. He gonna get into that Rock Nation brunch.
Matter of fact, I'm tracking you now, and I might buy a couple of you bastards. So you ain't got to lie to me no more. I don't. See, you got to understand. I'm this motherfucker, right? They call us, right? They say, Gilly, we want to invite you to the Rock Nation brunch. I'm the nigga that said, why would I want to come? Why wouldn't you want to come? I said, you want me to keep it real with you, or you want me to lie to you?
Keep it a buck.
Tell him, Gilly.
I said, the Rock Nation brunch ain't of nothing but Jay-Z putting a bunch of on the lawn and then going in the back door and saying, I told you I still run this shit. Give me the money.
Wow.
You think I'm letting a use my brand? Huh? See, Rich said like this.
Yeah, I see how you turn to that.
I got this shit from Russell and them. I ain't there yet. But I be seeing the Rich shit like this. You know, they get a little money, they cross their legs and shit. That's all this is, man. Let's keep it real. I operate with 26 major brands. You think I don't know what branding is? Come on, we don't work from New Amsterdam Vodka, Manscaped, Harrier Razors, Roman Swipes, you name them. They come to $1 million worth of game because we move the needle. I don't let nobody allow to use my brand with their brand. What do you get from going to these parties except for a picture?
Damn. This nigga said some revolutionary shit that went over a lot of people's heads. You know, everybody want to be, oh, Jay-Z, Jay-Z. You know, hey, all that's over, man. The truth come to light.
I don't even smile with you if you ain't worth 500 million or more. Let's be for real. The only smiling they do is when the billionaires in the picture. Look at all these broke ass on the lawn. Come on, man. I ain't with none of that shit. I don't want to party with you. I built the way for myself. I made a way for myself. I made my own way. Me and God, man. So I don't want to kick it with you. I don't want to do nothing. I want to stay in my own world. Smoke my weed and make my content and keep kicking you asses. That's what I like to do.
The beef with you and had with Wayne, how did that come to?
Wowzer. The boy talking, man, you gotta admit. And that's crazy how a lot of us didn't hear these warnings, you know. But that ain't even really what we getting into today. It's just a show of the tactics and how he got to where he at. You feel me? The shrewdness. We did the thing about the other day. He got the Fed, the CEO of his company is a federal agent. You know what I mean? Is you know, not a federal agent, but somebody who told on everybody. And then we did the thing about how all Dame Dash, all his old homies is, you know, not his homies no more. You had Nicki Minaj, she was saying something about some other stuff. Hold on.
No idea that Nicki Minaj would become his biggest op. But will her beef with Jay cost her everything?
Nicki Minaj is back on X, and she's coming for Jay-Z.
Jay-Z has become one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry. With a $1 billion portfolio that spans music, movies, and sports, his ruthless business acumen has turned him into the ultimate kingpin of the rap game. But lately, there's been one artist who's been absolutely obsessed with taking down Jay once and for all, and that's the so-called queen of rap, Nicki Minaj. But will Nicki...
It's almost like she knows something else too. But her gripe with him is, I think, some money.
His quest to expose Jay jeopardize everything? That's why we're doing a breakdown of every single time Nicki Minaj warned the world about Jay-Z. How did Nicki and Jay go from being business partners to enemies? Why is Nicki accusing Jay of trying to destroy Lil Wayne's legacy? And is it true that Jay's company, Roc Nation, is actively trying to sabotage Nicki Minaj's marriage? We've even done a deep dive into one of the biggest power players in Roc Nation and Nicki's accusation that Jay-Z's right-hand woman actually has a disturbing dark side. What's the secret history of Roc Nation's CEO, and what does it say about Jay-Z's power over the music industry? Finally, we're gonna analyze how the whole world is reacting to Nicki and Jay's fallout, including the allegations that Jay might have fathered a secret child.
Yo, that was sad. If dude is a Jay kid, that's fucked up.
Will Nicki's war do permanent damage to Jay-Z's legacy?
Jay-Z is almost like a person in hip-hop that you don't even really think he exists until you meet him.
Back in the day, Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj actually used to be business partners. Both rappers have long-standing New York ties. While Sean Jay-Z Carter was born and raised in Brooklyn's notorious Marcy housing projects, Nicki was born in Trinidad but grew up in the Bronx and South Jamaica, Queens. Jay rose to power in the late 90s and early 2000s as not only a critically acclaimed, commercially successful rapper, but also an extremely enterprising businessman. He founded his own record label, Rockefeller Records, and rapidly expanded his portfolio to include his very own movie studio and clothing brand, while also making crucial partnerships with bigger corporations. Nicki, on the other hand, came up under the mentorship of Lil Wayne and his record label, Young Money. After being signed by Wayne in 2008, Nicki Minaj became a rising star in the industry, and it turns out that Jay-Z had an active hand in boosting her career. After hearing a rough version of Robin Thicke's single, Shaking It for Daddy, bro, I can't say it. I'm sorry. All right, I'm an adult. Okay, we can do this. After hearing a rough version of Robin Thicke's single, Shaking It for Daddy, Jay recommended he put Nicki on the song. Not only did Robin take Jay's advice, but he also brought Nicki on TV to perform the song with him. In fact, Nicki talked about how much Jay's cosign meant to her. Quote, Jay-Z is a person in hip-hop that you almost don't think he exists until you meet him. It's almost like he's bigger than a person. He's a mythical figure. That's a great way to describe it. I was like, Jay-Z know me? It was like getting that stamp of approval from the most popular jock in high school and being a freshman in high school and thinking no one knows you exist. Nicki would go on to collaborate with Jay-Z on the Kanye West song Monster, where her show-stopping feature verse was ranked by Complex magazine as the best rap verse in a 5-year period. Jay-Z even brought her out to perform Monster at Yankee Stadium, making Nicki Minaj the first female rapper to ever hit the stage there. Nicki continued to skyrocket through the industry, becoming the top-selling female rapper in history. As Nicki grew in stature, she and Jay-Z began to link up and do even more lucrative business together. In 2015,
Where did it go wrong though? Did she know about this Epstein shit before it happened? What was like?
and Jay-Z launched his very own streaming platform called Tidal, a competitor to Spotify and Apple Music. Jay's pitch for Tidal is that it would be far more artist-friendly, paying a higher share of streaming revenue than its big-name competitors. In fact, to this day, Tidal pays out way more money per stream than any other DSP. But at the time, Jay-Z needed serious star power to compete with a major corporation like Spotify. And in order to do that, he called in a favor from Nicki Minaj. Nicki became the co-owner of Tidal. Under her deal with Jay-Z, she was given a 3% equity stake in the company along other big-name artists like Kanye West, Rihanna, and of course Jay-Z's wife, Beyonce. Nicki even premiered the much-anticipated music video for her Beyonce collab, Feeling Myself, as a Tidal exclusive, and performed alongside Beyonce at a Tidal.
Yeah, I remember she came and then a bunch of other stars came and made Tidal like super official, including Kanye West,
sponsored charity event in Brooklyn. The synergy behind the Queen of Rap and the Queen Bee teaming up to promote Tidal was a huge look, and Jay-Z clearly orchestrated the entire thing. To outsiders, it seemed like Jay and Nicki had forged a mutually beneficial partnership.
Wayne is his own person. He's a businessman, and whatever decision Wayne makes, I would never in my life speak against it publicly.
But nearly 10 years later, Nicki revealed that she was sick of Jay-Z and exposed him for disrespecting her mentor, Lil Wayne. In September of 2024, Kendrick Lamar was announced as the headliner for the Super Bowl halftime show. What made this especially controversial was that the Super Bowl was scheduled to take place in New Orleans, Lil Wayne's hometown. Wayne had campaigned hard for the Super Bowl and publicly admitted that he really wanted the gig. In Wayne's eyes, headlining the Super Bowl in his city would be the ultimate.
a lot of people was angry about that because they figured Wayne is from New Orleans. Wayne ain't never did. My thing is, Wayne wasn't super hot at the time. Kendrick was hot, on fire. So I think the decision was right, you know what I mean? Wayne wasn't, you know what I mean? Nah. He ain't ready for that. He don't really got them hits like that. That's Wayne. We love him and all that, but nah, Kendrick was ready for that.
Achievement. But when Kendrick was announced as a headliner instead, it not only emotionally devastated Wayne, it divided the entire rap game against Jay-Z. Jay-Z has become famously hands-on when it comes to picking who plays the Super Bowl. His company Roc Nation is an official partner of the NFL. Industry insiders say that Jay is the person who makes the ultimate selection of who headlines the halftime show. He's been instrumental in getting A-list stars like Rihanna, Usher, Dr. Dre, and yes, Kendrick, to agree to play the Super Bowl. But Jay's highly public Lil Wayne snub set Nick
Kendrick had them tight-ass bell bottoms on. On some West Coast shit.
Minaj off. She responded to the news by attacking Jay on social media, arguing that Jay's own personal animosity towards Wayne was destroying the culture. Quote, denying a young black man what he rightfully put into this game for no other reason but your ego, your hatred for Birdman, Drake, and Nicki got you punishing Lil Wayne?
She bugging. His ego, she's delusional for that. Kendrick was better at the time. Kendrick was more, he was more lit at the time.
Lil Wayne, the GOAT, no loyalty, them niggas will keep sunning you. To be fair, Lil Wayne is middle-aged, like, he is 42. Calling him young, not really accurate, but, whatever. Nicki even took it further than that, though. She brought up Jay-Z's alleged betrayal of Colin Kaepernick, the former quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Cap drew attention in 2016 for kneeling during the national anthem in order to protest police brutality, leading him to essentially being blacklisted from the NFL. While Jay's publicity showed support for Cap, a ton of activists see this new partnership with the NFL as a knife in the back moment. Critics say that Jay supported Cap in order to look woke, but snaked him when he saw a financial opportunity. And Nicki clearly agrees. Quote,
Jay don't care about nothing but the money. That's what he been showing us since he got in the game.
one nigga took a knee, the other nigga took a bag. He gonna get you in line every fucking time. Nicki is essentially accusing Jay-Z of putting money over morals, and this has been a criticism of Jay his entire career. While Jay has often used his music to speak on social issues, his critics have also pointed out that he's one of the most cutthroat businessmen in the rap game, and that his ultimate goal is more and more wealth. And keeping it real, Jay's been more successful than any other artist in the industry. Not only was he the first billionaire rapper, but with a net worth topping.
Yo, what up? What up?
Yo, what up?
Nah, this shit crazy, man. We about to get into the Epstein, what went down, what's in the Epstein Files with Jay. You know, a lot of people been warning, and even you and people on the panel, they said something ain't right with Jay. Something ain't right. I thought he was just a regular. We know he's a shrewd businessman. We know that.
Yes.
And he been telling us since he got in the game that it's all about the money. He about that bread. He been saying that. You feel me? But this new developments and stuff is like, what's going on? You know, like, man, some people are rejoicing. His Instagram followers is dropping. A lot of stuff is happening right now. It's looking real bad for the man. I don't think he's gonna, you think he's gonna recover from this shit or what?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. As of right now, it's not official charges or anything. And nothing's come of this yet. So I don't know. I really don't know.
I hear you. And yeah, let's get into what's in the Epstein file. Some emails or some this or that. See about that first. Get my camera on him.
I'm
Step out of the car. Hold up, Benny Johnson, big channel, 6.8 million. Salute Benny Johnson. I think he's just gonna break down.
negative.
All I need in this life is sin. It's me and my girlfriend. Me and my girlfriend.
What's up, guys? Benny. Kanye told us, man. Listen to this.
People like Jay-Z and Pusha T, they make their living killing our people. So how the f they gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha T.
Wait a minute, that's crazy. The boy specifically said Jay-Z and Pusha T. Hold on, man.
But, I mean, he's got trouble with Pusha T.
Damn.
Music so much, right? But you think they would ever? Oh, Beyonce had the best fit for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You think they would ever tell the truth? No, if they told the truth, I think they'd go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you have liars.
Man.
Liars are now the face of our culture.
He said Jay-Z and Pusha T. These are the two names that recently came up in the Epstein Files. So this is way before it came out. He knew something, and he's in the circle. So wow, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And he said Pusha T and he said Jay-Z were the ones who were lying to the entire industry, the entire movement, the entire culture. And it's always the people you least expect, right? It's always, Jay-Z, the guy who does music videos, literally making out with Satanists, Maria Abramovich, the spirit cooking dinner, truly the Satanist master of the entertainment industry, hugging and kissing her live in public. Woman is literally the person.
Sorry, B-Ray, I know this turned your world upside down too, but it's what it is. The truth must be heard. Give a fuck. I don't care about nobody. If it come out on you, you're getting it.
Personification of evil. And this is how it works, right? This is what you have to do in order to get famous. And you'll lose your soul. And Kanye warned us. Jay-Z and Pusha T If they told you the truth, they would go to jail. Well, now what do we find out in the Epstein Files? That one of the alleged Epstein victims named Jay-Z and Pusha T as abusers. Now, I don't really want to read the allegations. You can go find them yourself. I'll give you the actual. This is it on the on the DOJ website. And there are a lot of lurid allegations. So I just want to start off by saying, I mean, listen, they're just allegations.
Yeah, that picture is foul.
Yo, that's what I've been laughing at the whole time.
That picture is foul. Yo, the fuck? They violated the whole.
Prove them in court. There's plenty of abuse victims here for Epstein. There's plenty of abuse victims that want everyone to know more and hear more. The DOJ has, of course, redacted the names and the likenesses, the images, whether it be on video or whether it be hard copies of the images or the court documents. They're not going to release the names of victims for Jeffrey Epstein, and there's lots of them. But listen, there's lawsuits going on. And so we just want to say that, like, anybody who abused any woman, and like whether it's Jay-Z or whether it's people that you might least expect. I mean, there's some really heinous stuff coming out about the royal family and, of course, Bill Clinton. Like, go after all of it. As far as I'm concerned, you have to go after all of it. Now, here we go. Jay-Z has been announced on Epstein's list. Now, what is this? It is a allegation. It's pretty sick. It just has to do with sexual abuse, right?
Maybe that's a picture of Jay-Z in 20 years. That's how he's going to look.
Right? We're not going to be reading all the details of these allegations. You can read them for yourself, okay? Same thing we did with Donald Trump. You know, there were like allegations against Donald Trump. What we don't have in this file is what the feds decided on this. With Donald Trump, we had you know, they were pretty salacious and gross.
That picture right there is crazy. Him kikiing with this dude, you feel me? And Kanye said Pusha T. He said Pusha T and Jay-Z. Specifically, 2 names. Damn.
Task allegations against Donald Trump. And then what we had were the feds saying, well, this individual who's making these allegations never met Trump. It's secondhand. It's gossip stuff. She actually belongs on psychiatric meds. She's been determined to be psychiatrically unstable, like psychotically unstable. That's what the feds determined. That's inside of the document. So the people that publish the allegations against Trump, but then don't say what the Federal Crisis Center and intake determined with those allegations, they're being knowingly deceptive.
Okay.
All I'm saying here, I'm just going to read you what the what the takeaway is here for the allegations against Jay-Z and Pusha T, obviously another big time rapper and rap industry insider. And what happened? You know, the allegations are stunning. Abduction, 1996. This is the year that Jay-Z dropped his first album. Epstein Mansion. We know that Epstein was operational in 1996. He was visiting the White House with Bill Clinton. He was like at the White House 19 different times. She said she was abducted. The documents claim Pusha T as one of the handlers who helped drug the victims. Now we know, by the way, we know that this is, again, I'm not saying they're connected, but we know this was what happened with Diddy. We know that Diddy would drug these girls and that they'd show up by the van loads. We have video. They have video of that. Now the feds, James Comey's daughter, I can't believe it's true, but James Comey's daughter, Maureen.
Sorry, Diddy wasn't charged of none of that. So
Comey is the one who was brought in to make sure that these big time Democrats did not get charged correctly. This happened with Sam Bankman-Fried. This happened with Diddy. And she, I personally believe, was there as a DOJ protection mechanism to make sure that the people who donated to the Democrat Party didn't actually face charges. And nonetheless, they weren't able to get the Diddy charges to stick. Diddy is in prison right now, but the biggest charges against him didn't stick. What will happen to Jay-Z? Well, Jay-Z seemed to be panicked. Jay-Z has deleted all of his Instagram.
Yikes.
And Beyonce is apparently losing millions and millions of followers. It's very interesting. Beyonce has lost 10 million followers on Instagram after Jay-Z was named.
So people looking at Beyonce like, you know about this shit. People that believe it, you know, because it's still accusations, but then they like, I can't be following you. That's putting a dent in the beehive. Oh, man. Damn. Crazy.
In the child sex trafficking case, okay, yikes. She's lost some big followers too from inside of the industry. Is this something, is the industry like got to come clean here?
Yeah, it's something that everybody knows, and now because it's like put out there, they jumping on it, pause, or like I said, there's accusations, but it was funny to me how Kanye said the two names. That was weird.
Z and Pusha T are accused of assaulting a girl, accused of kidnapping. These are not the first kidnapping allegations that have been made against Jay-Z. There are other multiple pending lawsuits that connected to Diddy, actually, the Diddy lawsuits. We've covered those on the program. So this is not the first kidnapping from a young woman or abuse allegation against Jay-Z. Nonetheless, this is what is in the documents. Again, you can go ahead and find it right here. Here's the actual DOJ landing page. People who are no longer following Jay-Z on Instagram after the Epstein Files were released: Rihanna, Kim Kardashian, the mother-in-law, Kelly Rowland, Apple Music, NFL. No public statements made.
Yikes.
Who wants their brand associated with controversy like this anyway?
See, that's the messed up part about these accusations. They're gonna do some damage regardless.
Yeah, even if he's found to be completely innocent, they just lost a lot of money and a lot of opportunity.
Yikes.
What? Yikes.
He used my word. I said that.
I also find that many people are noting that while left-wing entertainment media has been going after Nicki Minaj all week, who, by the way, is clean as a whistle. And what I mean by that is she's not in the Epstein Files. There's been no reporting on Jay-Z. Seems odd. Here's some reporting from the New York Post here. Jay-Z in the Epstein dump. He was accused of abuse along with Pusha T. So there you go. Jay-Z listened to the Epstein Files and somehow TMZ blogs are crickets. The pattern is there. Y'all are choosing to ignore it. The year Jay-Z released his first album was the year he reportedly drugged and sexually abused a young girl. He also groomed Aaliyah and Beyonce. I mean, that's.
They're saying TMZ is being quiet on the topic. That's interesting.
That's indisputable. I mean, they talk about this, right? That they're like that they're out in the open. There's plenty of interviews about that. Partaking in these acts was his initiation into the occult and the reason why he's allowed to release music and become a part of the club. This is how the elite operate. It's all one big club. That's what everyone's saying. They destroyed Kanye's life, slandered Nicki Minaj, but the leftoids have no energy.
I like how he's not acknowledging that picture either. He's just acting like it's normal. Like
I can't look at it. It's crazy.
Oh my God. He looked like the predator. My homeboy from UK, he can't say predator, so he say predator. He
does look like the predator.
For Jay-Z. Also, could somebody explain this haircut?
Oh, there you go.
I did not know that's what Jay-Z currently looks like. The guy looks like he's under a lot of stress, honestly.
Oh, man.
Jay-Z's company chooses the halftime performers for the Super Bowl, and it's Bad Bunny, cross-dressing demonic Bad Bunny, who says he's going to use his show in order to push queer rights. That's an
Yeah, you should check his channel out. This is gonna be you in the future.
Yeah,
right winger.
That quote from the artist Bad Bunny. Deviance. Is it making sense now? There you go. People are mass unfollowing the accounts. I don't know. Listen, I'm just saying we're here to report the allegations. They're in the files. So they're in the files, and
He gonna take some major hits behind this, just the allegations alone. When you're on that level, but actually, remember he got accused by the other girl of some shit, and he beat that case. Remember that? The little young girl said some crazy shit.
I don't remember that specifically, but look, I can't. Who's the last celebrity that went to prison for this?
Fucking, I don't know. Well, Epstein, I don't know.
R. Kelly? It was
Yeah,
15
Kelly,
years ago.
right.
Yeah, 15 years ago. It's the only person in the industry who ever got called up. Come on.
I'm gonna just check out a little bit of this. This dude, I think he's gonna go down. He's gonna get into the paperwork a little bit. R. Kelly, but R. Kelly is caught on camera R. Kelly got hella victims that's like piled up.
Yeah.
This is a
Nah, he didn't
situation where
talk.
like they got I don't know how many victims, but I think R. Kelly was a different situation. They had
Yeah,
his
no, it
mother.
was. It was.
Ain't no doubt in nobody's mind that R. Kelly was doing that. We seen him on the streets with, you know, they were selling the DVD on the streets of him, you know, performing. So, and that's messed up because when you think about it, you're like, what? You was watching child porn if you watch that bullshit.
Yeah,
That's
I never
sick.
seen it, but that's crazy.
That's sick.
Jesus.
Steve Rich feel like this when you. Yeah, I see how you turn to that. I got this shit from Russell and them.
Miramax, Weinstein's company, defendant. The Walt Disney Company, defendant. Def Jam Records, defendant. Recordings, defendant. Rock Nation LLC, defendant. Universal Music Group, defendant. Beyonce G. Knowles, defendant. Kanye O. West, defendant. Terrence Thornton, defendant. Black Cube Ltd, defendant. Vivendi S.A., defendant. Dwayne Carter, defendant. Jean-Luc Brunel, defendant. Young Money Entertainment, defendant. Good Music, defendant. Shelley Masburg Smith, defendant. David Boyce, defendant. Robert Kelly. R. Kelly, defendant. Milton Brown, defendant. Marcelo Claro, defendant. Sprint Corporation, defendant. Viacom CBS, defendant. Virgil Abloh, defendant.
Oh.
Qatar Investment Authority, defendant. Tudor Saliba Corporation, defendant. Shout out to my brother Kwame Brown in the building. Y'all gotta go subscribe to his channel, Kwame Brown Bust Life. Y'all already know what it is.
Defendants. Hold on, man. Whoa.
For sex trafficking.
When you go in at somebody like Jay, it's gonna come with a lot. But like I said, he just went through this and he beat it. So I don't know. This is different though, because now the Epstein is attached to it. That's something you don't want to be attached to.
Yeah, for sure.
Hostage taking and related abuse, but also began exploiting the plaintiffs, right, for thefts of trade secrets, intellectual property, and tortious interference in the plaintiff's career and economic opportunities, right? Also, if you look into this paperwork, which I look further, and I will show you here, it went on to say some very, very, very bothering things, allegations. Now, again, this was thrown out. So now everybody's talking about it like, damn, remember that case that was thrown out, bro? This is crazy. Like, they threw that case out, but damn, now everybody see the Epstein Files like, hold on, man. Right? It also goes on to say, this complaint continues, as you read right in the middle. It says plaintiff 3, the plaintiff's mother, agreed to an out-of-court multi-million-dollar monetary settlement in the late 1980s, early 1990s to avoid public criminal and civil prosecution for Epstein's sexual abuse of several of the plaintiff's 2 and 3 children. Plaintiffs 2 and 3 share 6 children together, 3 sons, 3 daughters, and approximately 14 grandchildren. After misappropriating Leslie Wexner's money to pay the settlement, Jeffrey Epstein devised a scheme of revenge and recovery of the money by targeting the plaintiffs for drugging and trafficking the children for continued abuse at his various orgies around the world, where he was paid large sums of money by elite attendees of salacious events and then used the money from abusing the plaintiffs to repay his debt to Wexner. The decades of abuse, sexual assaults, were equally to the benefit, entertainment, and economic enrichment of the corporations as well.
When you Beyonce, and he already got accused, like I said, of some crazy stuff with a super minor. I think it was, I forgot what age, but she was a minor. He beat that or whatever, I guess. The case got thrown out. But then now, your name coming up in these Epstein files with the same type of allegations, it's kind of hard to stand by you know what I mean? And it's like, wait a minute, is there something to this? Because God forbid you shaming the victims and the victims went through this and y'all, you know what I mean? So, wow.
Yeah. No, it's, man, tough to deal with.
They said there's rumors of them divorcing. I don't know, but yikes, this is just it's a lot.
As facilitated in whatever capacities by the corporations, their manager, and personnel by any person that was named as a defendant. Remember, the football player, he came out and made allegations against Jay-Z and Beyonce. Everybody said he was crazy. All of these allegations have been stacking up. But I had to see something because there was so many people that came last night on the comment section and that had come inside of my channel. There was so many people that came and said, well, Ticket, that said that Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein, it was 1996. What the hell would Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z be doing in the same circles? Well, I did some research, right? And my research showed me that Harvey Weinstein reportedly was attending parties and events where all types of people from the hip hop industry, people that was from the movie industry, and all of the celebrities would go to. He would frequently attend these events.
Wow.
And these parties.
I mean, that's not unusual. He's a big time movie exec.
I looked at something else because everybody said, and remember, it was one person who said to me, and I saw this on a few documentaries that I seen online recently in the aftermath of the Diddy incident. And it was one pastor, and he claimed to have went through a certain situation, and he says that in order for you to get to that next level, and remember, also, you had not only Cat Williams come out and blow the lid off this, but you also had the actor, it's hard out here for a pimp, Terrence Howard, who got a lot of backlash when Terrence Howard said that all those people that went to the Diddy parties, all those dudes sold their souls and sold their you-know-whats, right? And that you had to do certain things to get to the upper echelon. But I will say this right here in front of everybody that's listening to this video. I thought about what people were saying yesterday when they said, hey, man, Ticket. I mean, why would he be hanging around Jay-Z at that time? Why? Doesn't make any sense, Ticket. Doesn't make any sense why he would be hanging around. Jay-Z wasn't that famous. 1996, Jay-Z had reasonable doubt. I did the
Maybe it was cocaine. Now let me stop.
homework. You know what I found out? I looked up, and I'm going to put this on the screen. Matter of fact, let me put this on the screen. Now, again, this doesn't prove anything about Jay-Z or if he's guilty of anything. And, I want to make that very, very clear. This doesn't say, hey, Jay-Z's guilty of these crimes, this and the third. But I do want to point this out. And that is, right, the information, right, that I had pulled up. And I asked this question. I did my research online. I asked this question. And the question I asked was did Jay-Z career take off after 1996? And you know the answer I got?
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
I'm going to show you on the screen.
It's crazy. Oh my God, bro. I do not like what's happening. This is fucking not cool at all. What the fuck? You feel me? Hold up, man. Wowzer. I thought he was going to go to, maybe you're supplying them with the, yeah, right, whatever. But wow. Okay. Maybe he was too. Who knows about that? You know what I mean?
Maybe Epstein was the connect.
They said they all do coke. You know that for sure. Maybe, who knows?
I mean, he had the plan.
He said, did Jay-Z career take off after 96? Jay-Z first album was not considered a big hit. You know what I mean?
No, 95.
Until later.
That was not big. Volume 2, that was the big one.
It's a hard night. And I did find he had some push. He had the industry behind him. Somehow he had major push. Wow. Okay. This dude is on to something. I'm gonna let him rock out a little bit. I got other videos to play tonight.
The answer I got. Let me put this on the screen for you guys. And when I saw this answer, it blew my socks off. It completely blew my socks off.
Blew my socks off. What the?
And I was just like,
pause.
Damn, bro. Like, it really made me sit back and I had to really sit back and think, like, yo, what the hell is going on, man?
That's how I'm
and I'm going to show you guys this. Everybody's watching this video. I'm going to show y'all this. Right? I'm going to show y'all this, right? Y'all smash the like button, share the videos, y'all come on in.
For sure.
All right. I'm going to show everybody what I'm talking about right here. Let's put this on the screen. So you guys, I asked that question. And this is the answer I got. Did Jay-Z's career, top right-hand corner, take off after 1996?
Cat GPT.
The answer was yes. Jay-Z's career didn't just take off after 1996. It exploded into a decade-long run of commercial dominance and cultural influence that eventually made him hip-hop's first billionaire.
But it wasn't his music. Well, me, when I think about it, I never had him in my, like, as far as lyricist type of shit. It was basically because he was the money man and he was like the boss. That's why we was like, yeah, Jay-Z. But not for no, you know what I mean, no hell of a lyrics or songs or shit like that. For me personally, you know what I mean?
No.
It was just,
Nah, he was good, but he wasn't the greatest rapper alive at all.
And I always wondered, like, why the fuck in the beginning, sometimes I was like, what's going on? I'm not getting something.
Yo, I remember being angry when he started saying that. I was like, who do you think you are claiming that title?
But he the first one to even mention that type of shit. He brought that to the table. The God MC, me, J.
He's the 40 million boy.
And then the people argue about Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. He threw himself in there, and then it became law. Like, wait, what happened to all the other, you know what I mean?
It's because if you say something enough, people will believe it.
He said his career exploded. I like this. Hold on.
While his 1996 debut, Reasonable Doubt, is now considered a classic, it was a modest, independent release at that time. His true takeoff into superstardom happened over the following years. His commercial breakthrough was in 1998.
I'm thinking Coke got something to do with it too. I'm thinking, oh, you Rockefeller, you the guy. Somebody got it. I'm like, yeah, He said, yeah, and he was that.
Yeah,
but like, this is all just me, you know.
But look, if someone like Harvey Weinstein wanted cocaine, the last person going to go to some street thug named Jay-Z. Give me a break.
No, he wasn't a street thug at that time. He was.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He'll go directly to the source. He's Harvey fucking Weinstein. He's not getting anything. Someone will get it for him.
Nah, you
That's
right.
crazy.
But things happen when dudes to talk slick. They could.
I think this is dirtier than drugs.
Third album, Volume 2, Hard Knock Life, propelled him to mainstream fame. It was his first #1 album. It featured a massive crossover hit, Hard Knock Life Ghetto Anthem, which introduced him to a global audience. Dominance in the early 2000s. Following a 1998 Jay-Z release, a string of critically
we all know
has
that.
been
Hold on, no.
bought off by Jay-Z. What the hell?
Bought off by Jay-Z.
You had real life people who were rich in other levels in 2014 talking about Jay-Z in private emails. And I'm going to read this email again. It says, you want to know why we're not in Sao Paulo? Watch the TV ads on the Super Bowl. It's all about hip blacks and their hip cars with white women. The group that should be in the streets.
He sound like a rich, frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a little racial undertone there.
Yeah, you hear that.
Has been bought off by Jay-Z. What the hell is Jess Staley of Blue Mountain Capital doing talking to Jeffrey Epstein about Jay-Z? What is he doing?
It's not good.
What is he doing?
What do you think that's about? They talk about the Super Bowl.
They're talking about how he got involved and he basically took their position out of the Super Bowl, coming up at the halftime show and everything.
Oh, man.
Answer that question.
They don't like when you play with their money.
Hit black guys and hot
And for
cars
shits and giggles,
with hot
With
white
white
women.
I wasn't even going to get this to y'all now, but I might as well give it to you now.
Go ahead.
Let's go.
Jay-Z's high-powered lawyer is in the Epstein Files too. Jay-Z's high-powered lawyer that just...
But the Epstein Files, what does that mean? Because, okay, they mentioned Jay-Z in that email. That's a dude talking to Epstein about him. That puts him in the Epstein Files, you feel me? That's not really...
Yeah, not really, but like, it sucks that your name's mentioned.
Yeah, so... Because that wasn't in like a negative light like that. That wasn't like...
that was about business.
Yeah. But I don't think that's only mentioned, but I'm just saying, like, damn.
Got him off that case. Alex Spiro against Tony Busby and that girl. Where Tony Busby is in current court litigation. Right? Going hard in the paint. Right? He is in the files too, in the private messages. The emails. And for Alex Spiro's part, Jay-Z's lawyer is described in those Epstein emails as a quote-unquote stone cold killer.
Yeah, lawyer.
End quote.
Shit. Of course he is. Of course
I
he
will
is.
put that on the
Jay-Z
screen.
lawyer.
Hey.
Right there. As you see, these are all in the files. It's all coming out. Why are all these people in the Epstein files? This was back in 2018.
I get it, because it's like, why any even dealings with Epstein is out of pocket. That means you dealing with him on the level to where y'all at that island together and, and shit like that. Because if there's no business dealings with him, what's the dealings with him? You feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
Staff took Alex Spiro, his NYC partner, stone cold killer. This is on an iMessage in the Epstein files. Also, another one. Yes, Alex Spiro and Burke both have worked with Ben and say Harvey can't handle that he is going away for 20 years.
Hell no, he can't.
They're talking about Epstein. Read this again. Yes, Alex Spiro and Burke have both worked with Ben and say Harvey can't handle, Harvey Weinstein, they're talking about,
Yeah, we know.
that he is going away for 20 years. Read that again. This is about Harvey Weinstein in the Epstein files.
They all homies. They all rock together.
Yes, Alex Spiro.
So it sounds like somebody worried too, like, oh, he can't handle that. He might talk.
And Burke have both worked with Ben.
'Cause that's how the mob talk. He can't. You think he can handle that? No. He gotta get his ass out of here. Get him out of here, because he gonna tell on all of us.
And say that Harvey Weinstein, can't handle that he is going away for 20 years. Then look at the next message below. In 2019, it says, yes, but like DJT, we all know who that is, Donald J. Trump. Yes, but like DJT, he told Ben how to fight. Let me repeat myself again. Yes, this was the response. Multiple participants. Yes, but like Donald J. Trump, he told Ben how to fight it. And made some horrific mistakes. Instead of letting the girl that was proven fake wait until the trial, that would have damaged all. He wanted it out in the press that she was untruthful, amateur bully. For whatever you take that as meaning. Again, this was all in the Epstein Files.
The bottom line is, this is not good for Jay-Z.
Yeah,
billionaire.
Cold hard facts.
That's a cold fact of life. And I'm not laughing like that. I'm just laughing at, I'm amazed like how quick something, somebody's world could turn upside down. Like, bloop, you feel me?
Yeah.
It's crazy as fuck. You think as they say, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. Man. Yeah. On that road to riches, try to remain righteous. Is all that bullshit gonna come back to you? The fuck shit. Oh my God, man. Because he shouldn't. I don't even know. Like, he's mingling with these people. Like, he knows. I don't see how you don't know what's going on with these people. Like, you feel me? When they talking and they partying, you see what they was. You know what's going on.
Yeah, you're around foul characters.
Foul characters. But the thing, I guess, what did we expect from a drug dealer, though? Let's be honest. The guy, he's from the streets. He said he's from the projects. He's a drug dealer. What did we expect from that? You feel me? Shout out to official King Payne, man. Real one. Go subscribe to him. Like, what are we expecting? But at the same time, when you change your image and you build your career, you get your family, and you talking about this and that and all this positive shit. Yeah, to be careful, because the dirt gonna come back around, and a lot of questions to be answered. This is gonna damage Beyonce's whole legacy too. You feel me?
For sure.
Crazy shit.
And out of all these 3 million files and all of these emails and everything we're gonna find, none of this was deemed credible to any other. From what we know right now, we don't know if they are doing another investigation, and they might be quiet, and this was just revealed because it was in the Epstein Files, and they're working on other investigations. We don't know. But as of right now, these guys have not. There hasn't been any type of announcement or any type of, official allegations or charges against these guys. Just the things that you see in these FBI reports, where people called the crisis line and made reports over the years. And everybody asked, why these people didn't go to the cops, man? Why they didn't go? They did.
They got shut down.
They did. See, you didn't know they did. This shit was hidden in the Epstein Files. You have to ask yourself a question. How in the blue hell was Jeffrey Epstein linked to so many people?
You know
how?
He had what they want.
All across the spectrum. How in the hell is all of these people in Jeffrey Epstein's files? and Jeffrey Epstein's emails, and Jeffrey Epstein's text messages. How is all these people in here? Think about this.
So
Think about all the different things that I showed y'all. You've got a guy named Jeff Staley looking it up. Look it up. Writing to Jeffrey Epstein about Jay-Z, saying that Jay-Z brought off the group that should be in the streets. You know, the blacks, the hip blacks with the hip cars with the white woman. It made me think about something Gene Deal said. He made a comment in the past about white chicks, and I won't even get into that. Maybe if he sees this video, he can talk about that part. Let me rewind this again. Let me rewind this again. You got to read these emails that's in the Epstein Files. This shit is crazy. So the email says again, this is to Jeffrey Epstein. Whoever wrote this is stone cold racist. But
that's just the beginning, man. And they got Pusha T all in it. Hov is under pressure. He's and his team is actively doing things to, you know, obviously because he got it because that's Jay-Z. But I'm just saying it's interesting. Instagram, he took down a lot of different shit. You know, changed it all up. It's like, damn, he's really. This is something that because usually you see Hov go through things and you're like, okay, he got it. He ain't tripping. But right now, it look like he got a little pressure. You feel me? 50 Cent definitely reacted to it. Said he gonna make a documentary. 50 Cent said
he's gonna make a doc on everybody.
That's what he said. He said I'm gonna make a documentary out of this. Imagine.
Yep.
For him to say that, that means it's more than what we see. Then how you gonna, you know, you need a lot for a documentary.
Yeah. Well, if anybody can do it, it's
50 and Hov had a little lightweight beef, you know, rap beef.
Yeah, a little something. That was before 50 even got on.
But it wasn't too heavy. But this could turn it into something crazy. If he make a documentary on Jay-Z.
Well, Jay-Z was saying 50's name before 50 even got on.
Yeah, I'm about $1. The fuck is 50 Cent?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And then 50 came back with that. It's best you be a gentleman.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Killed it. You know, his business accolades. We all praise him for that because we like, yeah, that's what the fuck we want. You know, somebody like that, true, getting that money. But even before, they saying he was finessing all these artists to get to be the first rap billionaire. Like, I'm like, wait a minute. Let's see what's up with this. I think
with someone who learned business on the streets of Brooklyn during the crack era. You're not just dealing with a rapper or a CEO. You're dealing with someone who sees every handshake as a potential setup. At 12 years old, Sean Carter shot his own brother in the shoulder over a stolen ring. That wasn't just family drama. That was his first lesson in protecting assets and establishing consequences. In the Marcy projects, that kind of decision-making would become second nature. By 13, Carter was deep in the crack game. But here's what separates his story from every other dealer-turned-rapper narrative. Jay wasn't just slinging rocks to survive. He was...
No, but honestly, because you really are overestimating this shit, how these dudes get their drugs. They don't give a fuck where they get it from. You really don't think Jay was able... Why was he at these parties then? You think he was at these parties to freak off or for his rap career or something? Like, I mean, how did he get at these parties? That's what I mean. Not why, but how.
I think they needed to get somebody under their control that was going to be big in the rap game that they could be implemental in making big, and they chose him for one reason or another.
What's the reason they chose him? There was it was a bunch of
because they could take anybody, but they seen something in them that they fucked with.
Nah, he ain't anybody. He's not anybody. He turned into a billionaire. Like, come on now.
Right, but they allowed that. It could have been anybody else.
I don't think so. You taking away
Look,
from
Jay-Z didn't take his music from Brooklyn and bring it worldwide. Other people did that. The reason why they did
I'm not
it, we
talking about
don't
his
know.
music.
But I don't
We're
think
not
it's
talking
about
about his music now.
okay.
We're talking about his business tactics and what he did and accomplished.
Sure, I can't speak on that. All I'm saying is that he was chosen for whatever reason.
Because he was
It's
supplying
more
them
than
that
drugs.
coke card, nigga.
I think it's his willingness to do things.
Oh man.
Studying the entire supply chain, learning how money moved, how territories worked, and most importantly, how trust could be weaponized. According to his own accounts, Jay was moving product from New York to Virginia, Maryland, and beyond. We're talking about a teenager running multi-state operations while most kids his age were worried about homework. But the real education wasn't in the drugs, it was in the relationships. Dame Dash, who would later become his business partner and eventual victim, has spoken about how Jay operated even back then. He wasn't the loudest guy in the room or the most flashy. He was the one watching, calculating, figuring out who had what and how to get it. Memphis Bleak, one of Jay's oldest friends, tells a story about visiting Jay's apartment in the mid-90s. He asked to borrow $100 and Jay told him to go to his nightstand drawer. When Bleak opened it, he found stacks of hundreds filling every drawer in the room. The message was clear. Jay always had more than he showed, and he always knew exactly what everyone around him needed. This wasn't just about drug money. This was about understanding leverage. Jay learned early that information was power, that appearing smaller than you are gives you an advantage, and that the best move is often the one nobody sees coming. And these lessons would become the foundation of every business deal he'd make for the next 30 years. The transition from drug dealer to rapper wasn't just a career change for Jay-Z, it was the first major finesse of his life. While most dealers either got locked up or stayed in the game until it killed them, Jay saw something nobody else did. Hip-hop was about to become the new crack game, but legal. Here's where the story gets interesting. Jay didn't just decide to rap one day. He'd been writing rhymes since he was a kid, practicing flows on the subway rides between drug runs. But he kept that passion hidden from his street associates because showing artistic ambition could be seen as weakness in that world. Jaz-O, an older rapper from the projects, became Jay's first mentor.
How he go from this to the Harvey Weinstein parties to the first billionaire, multi-billionaire rapper, you feel me? I'm trying to figure it out. There's something that we missing here. There's something we missing. Because you said, you did make a good point. They let him, but I still think there was something involved in that picking and choosing. It wasn't a random pick. You know what I mean?
Mentor in the music game, but even this relationship shows Jay's calculating nature. While Jaz-O thought he was helping a young kid learn the ropes, Jay was actually studying how the music industry worked, and more importantly, how artists got exploited. When Jaz-O got a record deal with EMI, he brought Jay along to London for recording sessions. The album flopped, and EMI dropped Jaz-O without warning, but Jay wasn't discouraged. He was taking notes. He watched how the label executives treated Jaz-O like a disposable commodity, and he made a mental note: never be in a position where someone else controls your destiny. By the mid-90s, Jay was still moving weight, but he was also shopping demo tapes around New York. Every major label passed on him. They said he was too old, his flow was too complex, his subject matter was too street. But what they didn't realize was that every rejection was just more data for Jay to process. He wasn't just trying to get signed, he was learning how the industry worked so he could eventually control it. The turning point came when he met Dame Dash through DJ Clark Kent. Dame was managing a group called Original Flavor, and he had the kind of aggressive, in-your-face energy that complemented Jay's more calculated approach. But even from the beginning...
Dame was managing Original Flavor. Okay, I remember that. And then Jay did that song on Original Flavor with them. He was rocking with them for a minute.
Their partnership...
You remember that song? He was like, rapping like Fushnickens.
Was built on a fundamental misunderstanding. Dame thought they were building something together as equals. Jay was already planning his exit strategy. In 1995, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, and Kareem Biggs Burke founded Rockefeller Records with one goal: to release Jay's debut album, Reasonable Doubt. But what looked like three friends starting a label was actually the beginning of Jay's most elaborate long-term finesse. Here's how the setup worked. Dame brought the hustle and the connections, Biggs brought the business sense and the calm demeanor, and Jay brought the talent. On paper, it was an equal three-way split. In reality, Jay was positioning himself as the indispensable asset while his partners did the heavy lifting. The genius of the Rockefeller structure was that it gave Jay all the benefits of independence while his partners took all the risks. Dame was the one arguing with radio programmers, fighting with distributors, and making enemies in boardrooms. Biggs was handling the paperwork, managing the money, and dealing with the day-to-day operations. Meanwhile, Jay was in the studio, building his brand and quietly studying how his partners operated so he could eventually operate without them. Reasonable Doubt was released independently in 1996, and while it didn't immediately blow up commercially, it established Jay as a serious lyricist. But more importantly, it proved that the Rockefeller model could work. They had created a successful independent label that could compete with major labels. That success attracted the attention of Def Jam, and this is where Jay's long-term thinking started to pay off. Instead of signing a traditional artist deal, Jay negotiated something unprecedented, a 50-50 partnership between Rockefeller and Def Jam. On the surface, this looked like a win for everyone. Rockefeller got major label distribution and
the rich-ass dope boy, nigga. I'm telling you, Coke got him in the building. He was serving them boys, man. He was serving them.
marketing muscle, while Def Jam got access to one of hip-hop's rising stars. But Jay had structured the deal in a way that gave him maximum
B-Rad, like, nah, he was just going to the parties in the islands.
flexibility for
I think that they saw him as their doorway into a big amount of money in hip hop.
I don't see how, oh, maybe because they think ahead. They think way ahead. I don't know. You might be right. I don't know, because that's crazy too. But they do think ahead like that. Because we talked about how, where did guns come from? Where did this thug? I'm talking about in hip hop. As far as hip hop, where this thug image come from? This gangster image and all this stuff. And now the labels is rock. They put that in there intentionally. So they could have. Hey, I don't know. That's kind of. It makes a little sense. They seen him as, okay, we could build him to be that, that guy.
Our bridge funding into hip hop and R&B.
Wowzer.
future moves. Dame Dash has said in interviews that he thought they were building a dynasty that would last forever. He envisioned Rockefeller as hip-hop's version of Motown, with multiple generations of artists building wealth together. Jay was already planning how to take it all for himself.
Yeah, I know. But Dash credibility gets shot because it's like he's got money problems, and if he was rich right now, then it'd be like, yeah, Dash was right there. But now people are like, man, whatever, homie, you ain't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I fuck with Dash, dog.
The first sign of trouble came during the Hard Knock Life era in 1998. The album was a massive success, going multi-platinum and establishing Jay as a mainstream star. But instead of celebrating with his partners, Jay started making moves that would benefit him individually. He began building relationships with Def Jam executives behind Dame's back. He started positioning himself as the reasonable partner who could work within the corporate structure, while Dame was painted as the difficult one who caused problems. This wasn't accidental. Jay understood that in any partnership, the person who controls the relationships with outside power brokers eventually controls the partnership itself. While Jay was positioning himself for his eventual takeover, he was simultaneously building a system that would exploit young artists for decades. The Rockefeller roster became a case study in how to extract maximum value from talent while giving minimal returns. Let's start with Beanie Sigel, one of the most talented rappers ever signed.
Now, I just played earlier Gilly speaking on the deal that he turned down with Rockefeller. He said it looked like a slave deal. Gilly turned out to be right. Because you look at these artists that were signed to Rockefeller, it's like a bad boy situation. Most of them is fucked up right now.
Yeah.
Siegel got a cooking food truck in Philly. You feel me? Imagine.
Jesus.
I know, but shout out to him. We ain't knocking him. But I'm just saying, we looked at him larger than life back then. We thought he was, you know what I mean? But he's on a food truck now with his family. It's like, damn, all that money he generated.
To the label. Beans was discovered by Jay in Philadelphia, and his raw talent was undeniable. But the contract he signed was structured to benefit Rockefeller far more than it benefited him. According to industry insiders, Beanie's deal was a standard 360 contract, meaning Rockefeller took a percentage of everything: album sales, touring, merchandise, even appearance fees. But here's the kicker: the percentages were heavily weighted toward the label, and the recoupment terms were designed to keep artists in debt.
But at the same time, Jay-Z a genius. Like, some people don't got that business mind to get the money and learn how to flip it and do this and that. Most people don't. So you know, we know he made a lot of money. He was pushing 2 Bentleys at one time, so it's like he had money, but it's just a shame because it's like, damn, you would think he would be set up better. But we know he spent money. He was bad with money. He was fighting cases and all kind of dumb shit. So, hey,
Yeah, money goes quick, man, especially when you get into legal troubles.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Beanie Siegel has spoken publicly about how his album, The Truth, should have made him wealthy, but instead he barely saw any money from it. The album was critically acclaimed and commercially successful, but after recoupment, marketing costs, and label fees, Beanie's share was minimal. This wasn't an accident or poor management. It was the system working exactly as designed. Memphis Bleek, despite being Jay's childhood friend, got an even worse deal. Bleek was essentially used as a hype man and opening act for Jay's tours, but his solo career was never given the marketing support it needed to succeed. When Bleek's albums underperformed, it was blamed on his lack of talent rather than the label's lack of investment. But the most telling example is Kanye West. Kanye was producing hits for Jay and other Rockefeller artists, but when he wanted to rap, he was repeatedly told no. Jay and Dame didn't see Kanye as rapper material. They wanted to keep him behind the boards making beats. Kanye has talked about how he had to essentially force his way into a rap career by creating Through the Wire and building buzz.
Nah, he shitted on Dame Dash. Dame Dash gave him a chance. Fuck out of here. Don't say that.
Independently. Even then, his deal...
He was wrong. He just said independently. He's a goofy. Dame Dash signed him, man. I fuck with the channel, but we're going to get that right. Dame Dash gave him a chance.
With Rockefeller was structured as a producer-first contract, meaning his rap career was treated as a side project. The pattern was clear. Rockefeller would sign talented artists, extract their best work, and then limit their ability to build independent wealth or leverage. Artists were kept dependent on the label for everything from studio time to promotional support. Meanwhile, Jay was building his own independent revenue streams through endorsement deals, business ventures, and strategic partnerships that his label mates weren't privy to. Cameron and the Diplomats represent another level of the exploitation. Cam was brought in as an established artist with his own following, but his Rockefeller deal was structured to give the label ownership of his masters while limiting his creative control. When Cam tried to assert more independence, he was marginalized within the label structure. His albums received less promotion, his tour support was reduced, and eventually he was pushed out entirely.
You wonder how Jay got several billions in the bank.
The genius of Jay's system was that it appeared to be standard industry practice.
He learned that from his homie, Diddy, the creator. Let me stop.
Every label had similar contracts, every artist complained about similar issues. But Jay was using his position as both artist and executive to ensure that he got the best deals while his label mates got the industry standard.
But when it comes to business, do you really blame him, B-Rad? Because it's like he supposed to look out for himself. Shit.
Yeah, that's why he's in business. And check it out. Look, he got a shit contract, and he ended up putting it away and turned it into something.
That's what I'm saying. Because if Jay-Z was in Beanie Siegel's situation and somebody like Jay-Z, they would take that money and make it something. So we can't really blame, you know, what you signed, the deals you signed, and things like that.
Just because you're a rapper doesn't mean you're a businessman.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. Yeah, that's true. But hey, they're trying to say something. I don't know. It might have been a little unfairness in it. I don't know though, but that's business. Jay-Z a businessman.
Well, what I don't like
of Dame Dash represents the master.
I don't like how.
What was that?
I mean, Beanie Siegel was one thing, but like, I don't know. Nah.
Come on, what you gotta say, fool?
Nah, I was a big fan of what's his name, fucking
Bleak.
Yeah, Memphis Bleak. I was a big fan of his. Like, I still to this day, one of my favorite Jay-Z songs is with Memphis Bleak.
Yeah, they shitted on him talking about this and that, man. Please, like, and then the level. Everybody got to play their position. Like, so everybody's not a platinum artist or this artist, but you're still an artist. If you sold gold, you're an artist. You know, 500,000 people fuck with you. That's good. Like,
yeah,
everybody, you know. And Jay-Z first album was gold. He stepped going. It turned into something. Nas' first album gold. Look at him now. Like,
you know what sucks behind it? The business sucks behind it.
I know.
Like, how much awesome music could have came out if it wasn't for all this bullshit business bullshit by people who have nothing to fucking do with rap music in the first place.
That's a fucking good ass point there. The business part fucked up a lot of shit about the rap game with me because I used to Like when you naive and you don't understand the business, you enjoy the music more and you just love it. But then you get older, you understand the business, and it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
puts a sour taste in your mouth.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them doing shit for the money.
Piece of Jay-Z's finesse career. This wasn't just a business disagreement between partners. It was a calculated dismantling of the man who had helped build Jay's empire. And to understand how devastating this betrayal was, you have to understand what Dame Dash brought to Rockefeller. Dame wasn't just a co-founder. He was the engine that made everything work. While Jay was the talent and Biggs was the business mind, Dame was the one who fought for every deal, every opportunity, every dollar. Dame was the one who convinced radio stations to play Jay's music when nobody knew who he was. Dame was the one who negotiated with distributors, fought with record executives, and built the relationships that made Rockefeller successful. But Dame's aggressive style, which had been an asset in the early days, became a liability as Rockefeller grew. Corporate executives at Def Jam and Universal found Dame difficult to work with. His confrontational approach and refusal to compromise made him enemies in board.
Them people told Jay, check this out, man. Get rid of this motherfucker. He ain't
100%.
with the program. He's not with the Epstein shit.
He's fucking your money up.
He's fucking the money up. He's running his mouth. He's too ghetto. Get him out of here. And Jay was like, okay, I'll oblige. Get rid of him.
Yeah, well, once Dame got him up that hill, he didn't need him anymore.
Period. Because Jay running the label, Jay can't do that. Jay finds little artists, special artists. Yeah, he did that. But running a label like Rockefeller back when it was lit, that was obviously fucking Dame Dash making the moves and shaking the bacon. Obviously.
Rooms across the industry. Jay saw this as an opportunity. Starting around 2002, Jay began having secret meetings with Def Jam executives. These weren't just casual conversations. They were strategic sessions designed to position Jay as the reasonable alternative to Dame's chaos. The meetings were kept secret from Dame and Biggs, which should have been a red flag. In any legitimate partnership, major strategic discussions would include all partners. But Jay was already operating as if he owned Rockefeller outright. The first public sign of trouble came during the filming of the Big Pimpin' video. Dame had arranged for the video to be shot on a yacht, but when they arrived, Jay announced that he had made other arrangements. Dame was publicly embarrassed in front of the crew, and the incident was captured on camera. This wasn't just a creative disagreement. It was Jay asserting dominance and showing Dame that his authority could be overruled at any time. The situation escalated during the recording of the Black Album in 2003. Jay announced that this would be his final album and that he was retiring from rap to focus on business. But instead of discussing this decision with his partners, Jay made the announcement unilaterally.
He had different partners. Those wasn't his partners. He had real partners, and them other guys were the partners. Them big boys. Pause. Them big old freak boys that do what they want and get what they want and indulge at whatever they want.
Them freak off aficionados.
Yeah, the gluttonous bestiality motherfuckers.
Found out about Jay's retirement plans the same way everyone else did, through the media, but the retirement announcement was just the setup for the real finesse. While Dame thought Jay was stepping back from music to focus on Rockefeller, Jay was actually negotiating his own exit strategy. In 2004, the bomb dropped. Def Jam announced that they had purchased the remaining 50% of Rockefeller Records for $10 million, and that Jay-Z would be named president of Def Jam. Dame learned about the sale the same way he learned about the retirement, through the media. But here's where the finesse gets truly diabolical. Jay had structured the sale so that he would become Dame's.
That was crazy. I think the whole Rockefeller said they learned about that through fucking the radio. They didn't even know. The whole squad, they didn't know. They learned about it from radio. We heard about it in the streets on the radio same time as them. And what we do? He like, Jay moving up. Yeah.
That's how a street movement dies, with round of rousal applause.
That's a fact.
Boss. The man who had helped build Rockefeller from nothing would now have to report to his former partner. Dame's reaction was predictable. He refused to work under Jay and demanded to be bought out of his remaining stake in...
See, that was... Yeah. I don't know.
You can't stay and be that bitch after that. That's crazy.
You're right. I guess you're right.
in the company. Jay agreed, but the buyout terms were structured to minimize Dame's payout while maximizing Jay's control. Dame sold his stake in Rocawear for $22 million, thinking he was getting a fair deal. A year later, Jay sold the entire Rocawear brand for $204 million. If Dame had held on to his stake, he would have been worth at least $50 million.
That alone would have had him in a better position right now. That right there. He the one that was behind the branding of, the merch and stuff, the Rockaway. He the one that was really pushing that, and he got worked out of that.
$1 million more. But the most devastating part of the betrayal was personal. Dame and Jay had been friends for over a decade. They had built something together from nothing, survived industry politics, and created a cultural movement. Jay threw all of that away for corporate positioning and personal wealth. Dame Dash has never recovered from the betrayal, financially or emotionally. He spent the last 20 years fighting lawsuits, struggling with debt, and watching Jay build a billion-dollar empire with the foundation that Dame helped create. While the Dame Dash situation was playing out publicly, Jay-Z was executing an even more...
I like how he put that too, the foundation that Dame helped create, because he did help create that foundation.
He did, 100%. 100%.
And if you go on to be a billionaire, and then off of whatever, and you can't come back and throw me a bone, that's foul as fuck. Billions.
Yeah, for real.
And if we
Because
build a foundation together.
But if Dame Dash is his ex-wife, you got half.
Oh yeah, that too. He got worked in that situation too. He got hit, man, back to back to back. You know, but he still, his head is still high. He's still doing his thing, so we ain't gonna just sit there and shit on him like he's.
Oh, I like Dame Dash through and through. Yeah. He's a real one.
Big facts.
Sophisticated scheme behind the scenes, the systematic acquisition of master recordings that would form the foundation of his billion-dollar empire. Understanding master ownership is crucial to understanding how Jay finessed the entire industry. When an artist records a song, there are two main revenue streams: the publishing, the songwriting, and the masters, the actual recording. Whoever owns the masters controls how the music is used, licensed, and monetized forever. In traditional record deals, artists sign away their masters in exchange for advances and promotional support. The label owns the recordings, and the artist gets a small percentage of the revenue. This system has kept artists poor while making label executives rich for decades. But Jay understood something that most artists didn't. The real money wasn't in being an artist, it was in owning the masters. His first move was securing ownership of his own masters through the Def Jam deal. When Jay became president of Def Jam, part of his compensation package included the rights to his future recordings.
Wow. Planned. He had a... See, man, this dude thinks long term. He thinks ahead. He said, okay, this is how I'm going to get my masters without having to go through all the lawyer things that a lot of these artists is going through, paying a lot of money to get their masters. He went and became president of the company and said, throw that in the deal. My masters for the little albums I got, throw that in the deal too. And then he turned them albums into something that's worth a whole lot.
This meant that every album he released after 2004 would be owned by him, not the label. But that was just the beginning. Jay also negotiated to acquire the masters of other Rockefeller artists, often without their knowledge or consent. Beanie Siegel has spoken about discovering that Jay owned his masters years after signing his deal. Beans thought he was signing with Rockefeller Records, but the fine print revealed that his masters would be owned by a Jay-Z entity. This wasn't illegal, it was all in the contracts, but it was deceptive because young artists trusted Jay as a mentor and fellow artist, not realizing he was operating as a label executive who would profit from their work forever. The Memphis Bleek situation is even more egregious. As Jay's childhood friend, Bleek trusted him completely. His contract was structured so that Jay personally owned Bleek's masters, meaning that every time Bleek's music was played, licensed, or sold, Jay got paid. Bleek has never spoken publicly about the financial details of his deal, but industry insiders estimate that Jay has made millions from Bleek's catalog.
But let's be honest here, Bleek wouldn't be nothing without Jay-Z. I'm sorry.
100%.
Yeah, it's not like he was a super hot rapper that had all these, ways to get on.
Like I said before, just because you're a rapper doesn't mean you're a businessman. So now you got all these rappers who claim to be street pharmacists and business mergers of high levels, and now they're all crying. I mean, not Bleek, but most of them are crying and bitching because Jay just outmaneuvered them in business.
Yeah.
That's not dirty.
Bleak's
That's
not
what they're here
crying.
for. They're here to get money. Nobody's here for fucking friends. They're here for money.
Because facts. Bleak's not crying. Siegel's not crying.
No.
Dame's not crying. My thing is, in Jay-Z's eyes, he like, man, this is business. He don't see he did nothing wrong. But as we looking at it like this, it's like, come on now, these dudes, there should have been something set up for these dudes. Certain dudes, like, really, man, like.
Yeah, but you have to understand, you come from a world of unions and benefits and 401ks. These guys came from the street. Jay-Z is probably considering these guys are lucky, because if this was on the block, they would have knocked them all off. They wouldn't even be alive. They got to learn their lives in a few bucks. They should be happy about it.
Yeah, you know
that's the world you come from.
But a person like Siegel would have been on, I think, without Jay-Z. He would have got some shitty deal somewhere else, but he would have.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah, he would have gotten raped by somebody else somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Bleak himself has struggled.
It sucks, you know, because again, we miss out as fans. We miss out on so much because of bullshit business that could have been avoided. But at the end of the day, this is for money, and for us, it's about music. For them, it's about money.
And let's be honest, if you're a real fan, you don't want your favorite rapper to be super rich, because then he gonna not stop going on tour and stop making music.
My favorite rappers never got rich, and I hate it. I hate it, but I love it.
They got money though, like Styles.
Yeah, no, they're all right. They do it better than me.
He got, he got fruit juices, bars, and all that type of shit. He's living it's a respectable life for
100%.
us as grown people to be fans of, and for himself and his family, he live a respectable life. Like certain artists, like even all of our artists, the ones that's alive, they doing their thing, man. To a certain degree, most of them.
Financially, but the most sophisticated master acquisition came through Jay's position at Def Jam. As president, Jay had access to the label's entire catalog and the ability to structure deals that would benefit him personally. When young artists like Rihanna were signed to Def Jam during Jay's tenure, their master ownership was structured through complex corporate entities that Jay had influence over. While these artists became global superstars, the long-term ownership of their early work was controlled by systems that Jay had helped design. The genius of this approach was that it appeared to be standard industry practice. Every label structure deals this way. Every executive had similar arrangements. But Jay was using his unique position as both artist and executive to ensure that he accumulated master ownership at an unprecedented scale. By 2008, when Jay left Def Jam to start Roc Nation, he had assembled a master catalog worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This wasn't just his own music, it was the work of dozens of artists who had trusted him as a mentor, partner, or friend. The catalog became the foundation of his billion-dollar empire, generating passive income that allowed him to make increasingly aggressive business moves without financial risk. The most insidious aspect of Jay-Z's rise to billionaire status wasn't what he did illegally. It was how he used legal contracts to systematically disadvantage everyone who worked with him. This represents perhaps the most sophisticated form of industry manipulation ever executed by a single individual. The foundation of Jay's contractual deception was his understanding that most artists, especially young ones, don't read or understand the legal documents they sign. They trust.
And he say, "This is Rock La Familia."
I mean, this guy's a gangster. Look, he did it right.
That's what I'm saying. He's a gangster. He's a fucking Brooklyn drug dealer. What you expect now? He's looking at it.
Montana.
But when your name come up in that Epstein shit, we like, wait a minute, what's that?
Their lawyers, their managers, and most importantly, they trust the person offering them the deal.
And then most people, the whole haters, they like, aha, that's how you became that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's over there with them people.
He's got to wear that now.
You gotta wear that now.
They exploited that trust ruthlessly. Let's examine the standard Rockefeller artist contract, which became the template for how Jay would structure deals throughout his career. On the surface, these contracts look similar to other label deals: advance payments, royalty percentages, promotional commitments. But the devil was in the details. First, the recoupment terms were structured to keep artists in debt indefinitely. While most labels recoup advances from artist royalties, Rockefeller contracts included additional costs that artists weren't aware of: studio time, promotional expenses, even the cost of Jay's own appearances on their tracks. Freeway, one of the most talented rappers on the Rockefeller roster, has spoken about how his album, Philadelphia Freeway, was profitable for the label, but left him with virtually no money. The recoupment terms were so complex that even successful albums didn't generate artist payouts. But the real deception was in the ownership structures. Many Rockefeller artists thought they were signing with an independent label that would give them more control and better terms than major labels. They didn't realize that their contract.
I'm saying how they thought this, but I guess these artists didn't come with lawyers and all that. These are dudes from the streets. So
yeah, and Jay was their man, so they figured it was all on the up and up.
Yeah, I could see that.
Contracts were actually with subsidiary companies that Jay controlled personally. This meant that Jay wasn't just taking a label executive's percentage, he was taking an owner's percentage of everything these artists created. The Cameron situation illustrates this perfectly. When Cam signed with Rockefeller, he was already an established artist with his.
You already know I seen this coming, right? You seen when I did the cold, me and you did the cold snowed in edition and the blizzard hit. Jay-Z was a top topic, and we talking about him dealing with the feds and all that type of shit. And then this hit, and then this hit. When it rained, it pours. Oh my God!
It does.
His own following. His contract was presented as a partnership deal that would give him creative control and financial upside. And in reality, the contract transferred ownership of Cam's masters to a Jay-Z entity while limiting Cam's ability to recoup his investment. When Cam tried to renegotiate or leave the label, he discovered that the terms were ironclad and heavily favored Jay. But perhaps the most sophisticated deception involved the use of cross-collateralization clauses. These provisions allowed Jay to use profits from successful artists to cover losses from unsuccessful ones, while keeping the successful artists unaware of how their money was being used. For example, if Jay-Z's albums were profitable and Beanie Siegel's albums lost money, the profits from Jay's work could be used to cover Beanie's losses, reducing the royalty payments to both artists. This created a system where Jay's success subsidized his label mates' failures, while Jay kept the ownership and control. The contracts also included option clauses that gave Jay the right to extend artist deals.
That boy was a shrewd ass motherfucker. He got some killer lawyers from the beginning to write up them, to draw up them contracts. Some murderers from the beginning. Draw up them contracts. Let's go. And make sure you do the right thing by me, motherfucker. That's all I want. We're gonna make these guys stars. You know they're gonna be stars. Yeah. What they do with that, that's on them. Who from Rockefeller took that and ran with it and did their thing? We got Kanye, you know. That's probably is that the only one? You feel me? That was signed to
Rihanna. Rihanna did.
Rihanna wasn't signed to Rockefeller. Rihanna was a Rock Nation. That's a Jay-Z. I'm talking about I'm talking about the Dame Dash Foundation of Rockefeller.
Oh, right before, because then it became Island Def Jam, then it became Rock Nation. Okay.
Yeah. Ye is the only one, huh?
Kinda, yeah. And they don't fuck with each other no more.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Unilaterally. This meant that if an artist became successful.
What'd you say? You say you seen
Seems
that
like it
coming?
makes sense. Two big fish. That's why he tried to keep him down, because he knew that Kanye was a genius.
He became too big.
Speaking of Kanye, he came out the other day and says he has like head injuries and shit, brain damage.
Yeah, from the car accident. So he apologized about the anti-Semitic stuff and then all the stuff that he said about the White Lives Matter and the black people got offended and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's all crazy work.
He apologized for that. I guess when he apologized to black people, I don't know if it was over Trump stuff or whatever, but he shouldn't have did that. But I think it was over the White Lives Matter and all that weird stuff you're saying. That White Lives do matter.
The Nazi shit.
Yeah, all that Nazi stuff, all that shit. You know, that was terrible. Yeah. Nicki Minaj. They say she got tricked. Trump gave her a card. They say it wasn't really what it's supposed to be. It was just a souvenir and things like that. But hey, I'm not mad at Nicki. She could believe and like who she want. Everybody could like who they want. Shit. But if I find out she trying to use him for the citizenship and then it didn't work out, then that's bad. Because you the people, the kids that look up to you, is following you, and then you doing some shit based on some fake shit for whatever reason. That's not cool. Be real with yourself. But whatever, like, you know, because she need to retire anyway. Because Cardi B got the game right now. Cardi B got shit on lock. Cardi B about to be. She's at Saturday Night Live. Then they say she gonna be at the Super Bowl. She the one right now. She running shit. Nicki is looking crazy out here in these streets. But yeah, they said Trump tricked her. I don't know how true that is. We'll look into that. They said
I
it
don't
wasn't.
believe that.
They said it wasn't a real thing, but she thought it was something.
Whatever, she's in with the president. Like that's
Yeah,
you don't
that's
need
big.
gifts. That's a gift.
That's big. Yeah, you're right.
Jay could keep them locked into unfavorable terms indefinitely. Jay's success with these tactics influenced how other labels structured their deals, creating an industry-wide shift toward more exploitative.
So he made something worse than the famous 360 deal. He created something worse than that. That boy's vicious.
Well, he didn't create it because I don't know. You ever seen that movie Cadillac Records?
Yeah, but I don't really remember it.
Okay, well, there was a part in it where Chuck Berry he just got joined to the label, Chess label, right? Chess Records, and he just got signed. And they're at the house watching him. He's gonna be on Bandstand. He's got the brand new car outside and shit. And Muddy Waters shows up, starts talking to Chess, and he's like, what's up on last month's, money? I need some money. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you haven't sold a fucking record in a year. He's like, this kid right here is funding the whole party for everybody. And then he cuts him a check and throws him money, and basically saying, like, because he's selling records, I'm able to pay all of you still. But if he wasn't selling records, I couldn't move that money over. So same shit.
So that's the same shit basically. But why?
Same shit.
Yeah, but in the movie, they was trying to portray like it was some foul shit, right?
No, but in the movie, yeah, but it really wasn't foul. Like he was doing what he was doing. He bought dude a house, cars, all that. That's what he said. He's like, I bought you a fucking new Cadillac weeks ago. What are you talking about money?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, yeah.
He wasn't exploiting people, but the way Jay did it, he was keeping it all for himself.
Oh, okay.
But whatever,
Yeah,
like
try
you
to
said
look at both
before,
sides.
they never would have gotten in the studio if it wasn't for him, though. So they got cars, they got money,
That's what I'm saying.
they had to live that life. If they
That's what I'm
fucking
about to get into. Yep. A poor
yeah,
kid
if they
from the
doubled and
projects.
flipped it, then they could have done something.
Yeah, they could have sold that car and did this or that. 2 Bentleys moving around, do something, invest in this and that.
Could have hired a fucking lawyer.
Hire a lawyer.
Contracts. Today, young artists entering the music industry face contract terms that are directly descended from the playbook Jay developed at Rockefeller. The system he created to enrich himself has become the standard that keeps artists poor across the entire industry. By 2008, Jay-Z had accumulated enough wealth and industry control to make the moves that would transform him from a successful rapper into a legitimate billionaire. But these weren't just smart business decisions. They were the culmination of 15 years of systematic exploitation that had given him the capital and connections to play at the highest levels. The foundation of Jay's billion-dollar empire was built on 3 pillars: master ownership, strategic partnerships, and corporate positioning. Each pillar was constructed using wealth and relationships extracted from the artists and partners he had finessed along the way.
And blackballing, because Gilly the Kid spoke on it. When Gilly turned down that deal that he called a slave deal, he said he was blackballed. Now, in retrospect, we could see and we believe Gilly, I'm sure, because Gilly showed through the years that he's solid. He's not, and I believe him. And he said he'd been blackballed, and he was nice back in them days. He could have been wherever, doing whatever, but obviously he was blackballed on the East Coast. He had to go to the West, to down South, to sign the deal and get a couple of dollars. And they still blackballed him. So yeah.
He was told you can have it like this, or you can not have it at all.
Yeah. Now that's the fucked up thing right there. That's when you playing foul.
Yeah.
That's when you playing foul. That's the dirty broad stuff. I don't like that. I don't want to sign to you, so now you still hating on me and you in my business. Leave me alone, homie. So yeah, that right there showed some tactics.
The first
Epstein tactics.
Major play was the creation of Rock Nation in 2008. On the surface, this looked like Jay starting a new label after leaving Def Jam. In reality, it was the launch of a diversified entertainment conglomerate designed to extract value from every aspect of the music industry. Rock Nation wasn't just a record label. It was a management company, a touring agency, a publishing house, and a sports representation firm all rolled into one. This 360-degree approach allowed Jay to take a percentage of everything his clients did while also controlling their career decisions. The genius of the Rock Nation model was that it appeared to offer artists more control and better terms than traditional labels. Artists were told they were joining a family led by someone who understood their struggles and would protect their interests. But the contracts told a different story. Roc Nation deals were structured to give Jay unprecedented control over artists' careers while limiting their ability to build independent wealth. J. Cole, one of Roc Nation's biggest successes, has spoken about how his deal gave him creative freedom but limited his ownership rights. While Cole has become a superstar.
Cole is rich as hell, you know. So that is, you know, I'm sorry, whatever Jay did to him, it don't matter. Cole is rich now.
No, we witnessed J. Cole's intelligence in real time. We watched him back right the hell out of that beef. He's not stupid.
I guess so. He said this ain't good for business.
Yeah.
He put business first. Man.
The long-term financial benefits of his success flow primarily to Jay and Roc Nation. The second major play was Jay's entry into the streaming wars with Tidal. In 2015, Jay purchased the struggling streaming service for $56 million and repositioned it as an artist-owned platform that would give musicians better royalty rates and more control over their work. The marketing campaign featured Jay alongside other superstar artists like Beyonce, Kanye West, and Rihanna, all pledging to support a platform that would treat artists fairly. But the reality of Tidal was very different from the marketing. While Jay and his celebrity partners received equity stakes in the company, smaller artists saw minimal benefits. The platform struggled to gain market share against Spotify and Apple Music, and many of the promised improvements for artists never materialized. More importantly, Tidal became a vehicle for Jay to manipulate streaming numbers and chart positions. Albums by Jay and his Roc Nation artists received preferential treatment on the platform, including inflated play counts that helped them achieve higher chart positions and streaming certifications. In 2021, Jay sold Tidal to Twitter founder Jack Dorsey for $297 million, representing a 400% return on his investment. The artists who had supported the platform and helped legitimize it received nothing from the sale. The third major play was Jay's expansion into sports and entertainment through Roc Nation Sports. This venture allowed Jay to represent some of the biggest names in professional sports while also building relationships with team owners and league executives. But Roc Nation Sports also became another vehicle for exploitation. Young athletes, impressed by Jay's success and celebrity status, signed representation deals that gave Roc Nation significant control over their careers and endorsement opportunities. Kevin Durant, one of Roc Nation Sports' biggest clients, has spoken about how the agency helped him build his brand and secure lucrative deals. But industry insiders note that Roc Nation's commission structure and contract terms are among the most aggressive in sports representation. The pattern was consistent across all of Jay's business ventures. Promise artists and athletes better treatment and more control, then use sophisticated contracts to extract maximum value while limiting their independence. But the most sophisticated play was Jay's cultivation of relationships with corporate America. By positioning himself as a bridge between hip-hop culture and mainstream business, Jay gained access to boardrooms and investment opportunities that were previously closed to rap
I don't see nothing wrong with nothing he's saying.
artists. His partnerships with companies like
It's just business. People these days have a fucking problem with people who put hard work in and get rich. They see anybody as rich as having exploited people below them. But the truth is people don't understand what it is to own and run a business where you have people who live off of you. You are providing them with a livelihood. If they can't parlay that into something bigger, that's their problem. Just because you got rich off of your intelligence doesn't mean you need to give it away to people. There's laborers, there's owners.
Exactly. And if somebody decides to sign something,
that's
their
prerogative.
You deal with what you sign, basically.
Yes.
That's why there's contracts.
Yeah, exactly.
Samsung, Sprint, and Live Nation weren't just endorsement deals. They were strategic alliances that gave him equity stakes and decision-making power in major corporations. The Samsung deal for Magna Carta Holy Grail was particularly revealing. Samsung paid Jay $5 million to give away 1 million copies of his album to Galaxy users. This allowed Jay to go platinum before the album was even released to the general public, while also building a relationship with one of the world's largest technology companies. But the deal also demonstrated how Jay had learned to manipulate industry metrics for his own benefit. By pre-selling albums to corporations, he
This channel was a hater. I like this channel though, because I'm a hater too. I could dig it, but damn, this is a hater channel. I fuck with it.
could achieve chart success and industry recognition without actually selling music to fans. These corporate relationships became the foundation for Jay's entry into venture capital and private equity. His investment firm, Marcy Venture Partners, has stakes in dozens of companies across multiple industries, from cannabis to financial services. The capital for these investments came directly from the wealth Jay had extracted from artists and partners over the previous 2 decades. The exploitation of young rappers in the 1990s and 2000s had generated the resources that allowed Jay to become a legitimate business mogul in the 2000s and 10s. Jay-Z's transformation into a billionaire didn't end his exploitation of young artists. It just made him more sophisticated about it. Today's Rock Nation operates as a fully integrated entertainment machine that can extract value from artists at every stage of their careers while maintaining the appearance of being artist-friendly. The modern Rock Nation model represents the evolution of everything Jay learned from his early finessing. Instead of the crude exploitation tactics used on artists like Beanie Sigel and Memphis Bleak, today's system uses data analytics, social media manipulation, and complex financial instruments to maximize extraction while minimizing artist awareness. Let's examine how this works with current Rock Nation artists. Megan Thee Stallion's situation illustrates the sophistication of modern music industry exploitation. When Megan signed with Rock Nation for management in 2019, it was presented as a partnership that would help her navigate industry politics and build her brand. But Rock Nation's involvement in Megan...
It's The Rock. She's a billionaire. We not even, like, he made some billionaires. Let's not do that now. You tripping.
The year that Jay-Z dropped his first album.
Definitely made some billionaires. And
I don't know about millionaires, but big money millionaires for sure.
What's the truth?
Well, Beyonce and I mean not Beyonce, even Beyonce, but Rihanna and Kanye. I mean,
yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
Well, let's get back to that Epstein stuff. I want to see somebody else's take
about Jay-Z, Pusha T, and Epstein. What's up, words? Your boy Charles Brown back again, talking facts. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe and notification bell. Keep sending those cash outs to COBMG. Join that membership and all you buying that merch down below. Gang, listen. We're here again, gang. We're here once again. We're seeing it in real time. We're seeing Jay-Z being blamed and accused of doing some heinous activities with little to no evidence, and I want to break down the truth because there are certain individuals who don't need any evidence. They don't need any proof. They don't even need any truth.
That's true.
They want to run with this so fast. I saw people last night. They were going so fast with this. They didn't even have time to examine the document. They were already calling your boy a rapist, a sex trafficker, and this, that, and the third. They were posting Tory Lane's dad on all kind of stuff, saying Rock Nation was finally on its downfall, and we were about to see the end of Jay-Z, Pusha T, and everyone else. All of the Drake Boo Birds were out in full force, calling this man this, that, and the third, and didn't need it, didn't want it, didn't have an issue with even processing anything related to the truth. What the Jay-Z situation is, and I want to talk about this because we were here a year ago, and I was one of the first people on the first train to actually, and I know we have this thing, we're supposed to go with the accusers first, but the very first accuser of Jay-Z, when she said it was Jay-Z and Diddy at a time where it was cool to say Diddy and Jay-Z and this, that, and the third, I listened to her story, I read it upside down, and I was one of the first people saying it didn't jive right. It didn't pass the smell test, and it didn't make no sense. And slowly but surely, as time went on, the internet went from, I want to say, 20/80 to 80/20. That young woman who claimed Jay-Z did this, that, and the third while she was in New York at a MTV Video Awards, and then she got somehow escorted by a limousine driver to Diddy's home in Jersey. At some time in the morning, she was a minor. Her dad dropped her off in New York. Manhattan, of all places, right? He dropped her in Manhattan from somewhere up in the realm of Albany, New York, somewhere 8 hours away. He drove her there, dropped her in Manhattan because she wanted to go. Not her dad, her friend, right? Her dad came back and got her, sorry. Her friend dropped her in New York. She stumbled on Diddy's limo driver. The limo driver told her, stay here, be right, I'll be back later to pick you up for a party. She stayed there and waited. he came back a few hours later once the MTV Awards was over, picked her up, took her to Jersey, took her to some home that he allegedly had in Jersey, and had her in the living room sitting down talking to various artists that
Shut up.
3 million new documents have been released from the Epstein Files, and it's already causing a furor. 2 names that appeared in the files include Pusha T and Jay-Z, but what have they allegedly done? Here are the facts. What you need to know now, we're going to pick this through because a lot of people are online. They have no desire to tell you the truth. They have no desire to look any deeper. They're just like, the FBI released it. That's the facts. Da-da-da.
We do here on Bullight Network.
They're not telling you that this is a intake form. Someone called this hotline in 2019, of all things, talking about something that happened allegedly in 1996 and allegedly in 2007. This is 20 years. What they're not telling you is if Jeffrey Epstein is in the minors, this person that called wasn't a minor by the time they said Pusha T came around, right? So this is a grown person saying, oh, 20 years of this, like, gang, but let's just stay focused and let's read this situation. It's a lot to unpack. And the people that want the facts, we're going to have factual conversation. What you need to know. According to the FBI intake reports, both rappers appear in the documents through unverified records. These records are not verified, but you can't tell that on Twitter because they're clapping their hands and stomping their feet. But let's just keep talking. Not Epstein's own flight logs. Now, mind you, I did a little independent research. Jay-Z is not on any Epstein flight logs. I also Googled that if Jay-Z had any relationship with Jeffrey Epstein at all. The survey says no. There is no documented relationship with these two guys whatsoever. But the facts don't matter when you want them to be guilty. Right? They're going to say that doesn't matter. He's not on any flight logs. He doesn't have any known relationship with this guy whatsoever. Well, it could have been secret. Okay. It ain't that many people that can be in business for 20 years for secret, but let's just keep it pushing. Matter of fact, how long ago is 1996? Right? So let's just stay focused, okay? Very long time ago, but somehow, some way, they're going to say it's cap, right? End of the day, there's no documented relationship with them. Keep that in mind as we keep going. These stem from unverified tips from 2019 and no charges have been filed. However, the 2 artists are mentioned in unverified anonymous tip data, which includes one caller claimed to have been at an Epstein-linked location with notable figures, including Jay-Z named Sean Carter. Another caller alleged that they were drugged at a party and said Pusha T was present. For context, the following details are from the FBI files. Quote, in approximately 1996, redacted, resided with redacted, in redacted, redacted means they blacked it out, an unknown man abducted, redacted her from her home, where she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, Jay-Z, while Weinstein inserted his fingers into redacted, believed she was in Epstein's...
Abducted from her home, jeez. That sounds crazy right there, first of all.
Yeah, that sounds wild.
Let's keep going.
Mansion in Florida, gang. So I'm just going to say that this is another case of the smell test. It's kind of weird. How do you know you're in Florida? Okay, it got to make sense.
Hold on. She said abducted from the crib. Come on now. Wait a minute. Hold up. And that's the same story for the other one though. But abducted from the home, that's crazy.
Yeah. That sounds a little far-fetched.
You not buying that?
I mean, it sounds crazy.
What is that fucking? Then that's the same situation with that. So the Diddy thing that the little girl said abducted from the house.
Really?
I think so. That was the same situation. Even though I mean, I'm not really buying that, but I did. That's the same situation that the girl said.
I mean, just because it sounds unbelievable doesn't mean it's not real.
Hold up, man. I gotta keep it.
Where she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, Jay-Z, while Weinstein
Inserted his fingers into redacted, believed she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida, gang. So I'm just going to say that this is another case of the smell test. It's kind of weird. How do you know you're in Florida? Okay, it gotta make sense to me. It says, and she was abducted from her home. Then she woke up in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z. Weinstein inserted his fingers, and she believes she was in Epstein's Florida mansion in Florida.
Nah, that
How do you
sound
know where
ridiculous.
you are? Let me just keep going. Redacted attributed the drugging as frequently performed by persons assigned as handlers. Among her handlers, she identified the artist Pusha T. Now, for further context in the document, I'm going to get into the document a little bit deeper than that. She's not saying that Pusha T was at that point her handler. She's saying later in the course of the she's saying she got abducted 7 times. Right, 7 times, and over the course of all these years, from 1994 all the way up to 2007, these guys kept coming to grab her. This is what we're led to believe in this anonymous tip. Right? Let me keep going, gang. It's got to make sense, gang. I'm just going to be honest. It got to make sense before you start pushing a retweet and re-like and re-quote and all this stuff on Twitter, and you start making these claims that you're defending a pedo.
All right, he doing too much of that though. Hold on, because I want to see something. I'm just trying to get to the facts. But damn, she said it sounds ridiculous. I ain't gonna deny that. It sounds ridiculous. But I just want to hear what's in the damn thing. We didn't get to what's actually, in the files. So that's all.
Can we go to this trial? This is in New York, right?
Is there going to be a trial? We should go.
I'm saying we gotta show up. We got press passes.
What trial? There's nobody's charging nothing.
I thought this was leading to it. Oh no, I'm saying. Oh well, this will all be part of the Epstein shit. Yeah, no, we're not getting in there, dude.
Because it's out of the hip hop world, but this involves 2 hip hop artists that we are well aware of. And I was shocked to see this on social media. I had to make sure it was real 100% because I'm the type of person that doesn't just report on things without doing proper research. And this is 100% real in terms of it's officially from the government's website. And that is Jay-Z and Pusha T's name are involved in the Epstein Files. Before I get into this, I want you guys to be able to look this up yourselves so you know I'm not lying. You go on the website justice.gov/Epstein, and then there is a search bar, and you can search up Sean Carter, which is Jay-Z's real name, and it's the first document that pops up. And this is documents that I'm going to read to you guys that pop up. So just so you guys know that this is 100% real from the government's website, from the Epstein Files. There's nothing that's been, altered or, reported fake on social media. This is 100% real. So let's go over both of these documents. The documents are heavily redacted, meaning a lot of things are blurred out to protect really the victims' names and some information that they Threat Operations Center, NTOC, to identify herself as a victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. Blank provided the following information. In approximately 1994, a bunch of redacted information used by this person and this person. Do with that information what you will. I know Jay-Z has been dragged a lot by social media as being in.
This is some bullshit, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. The girl says she been kidnapped over the years several times.
Why would super rich people risk getting caught for kidnapping when they can just pay women to do this?
And I heard somebody say, "Oh, it's initiation, like they got initiation rituals type shit." Come on now.
That could be it. No, that could be it.
That could be it.
Yeah, like corrupting innocence and shit.
I heard somebody say that bullshit, bro. I don't know.
I mean, if you're dealing with devil worship and Satanism and witchcraft and all that shit, who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Said redacted, and then 50 Cent is so foul. You like, oh, I'm gonna do a documentary on this.
He's not stupid. That's where the money's at.
I mean, but these type of accusations is crazy.
They are very
looking
wrong.
at his business tactics and things like that. But when you get into that type of shit, that's kind of crazy.
It is.
Because we all know what Epstein was accused of, and we all know what we insinuating when you say, "Oh, Epstein, he's in the Epstein Files," what you're actually insinuating. And
it's just funny. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, but they said about the Trump shit. They said the thing about Trump, she was saying some crazy shit just like that girl, basically. You know, to say you was kidnapped over the. I'm sorry, I don't want to victim shame nothing like that, but
Well, that's what I was saying. It sounds insane, but just because it sounds crazy doesn't mean it's not real. You know, like that could be the concept behind it is let's do some wild shit that no one would ever believe. But I don't know. That's pretty foul and seems pretty not realistic, but I don't know.
Yo, and then the rumors about well, why was his here? Sheesh. Well, his name was discussed other than the sexual stuff in the Epstein.
Yeah,
Files.
but that all had to do with the Rock Nation taking over the halftime show and Blue Capital losing it. That's different. They're just saying like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, his name was mentioned. Everybody was talking about him at that time. Like, that's not.
Yeah, I mean, he was a big deal. He was like a huge individual in sports and entertainment. Like, that's where a lot of money is generated and comes from. So
this is bullshit, huh?
And he's super popular. You know, before Epstein became Epstein, nobody really knew who he was in the general public. Everybody knows who Jay-Z is.
But guess what? Regardless of what's what, his name is mentioned in the Epstein Files.
Yeah, that's all the way not cool.
That's like a curse.
Yeah, like even if you have zero to do with it, your name gets brought up by this guy in an email. Now you look suspect.
Well, and he gonna pay. I mean, it's definitely gonna affect some things in business for sure.
It's funny you're gonna say he's gonna pay for this one, but then you're like, guys,
I'm just saying, like, for the foul shit you do, probably to your peoples with the money and business and the cutthroat shit, there's other ways to pay. Motherfuckers think they just clean free and the karma ain't gonna hit them, but it's coming though. You feel me? Like somehow, some way. I'm sorry. This right
well,
here.
Jay-Z once said, everything comes to the light.
Yeah, he did. Shit. Anyway, shit. Yeah, I'm not rocking with those allegations. I'm not believing that. But hey, it is what it is. We did some research on Hove and the business tactics. I look at them like, hey, good business.
I mean, yeah. Now, it's not pretty.
Not a good friend, but good business.
It's not pretty.
But anyway, shit, we about to get up out of here on that note. You heard?
Good show. Salute to everybody who tapped in. And we'll see what happens to Jay over this.
Yeah, I think he gonna overcome this. It's gonna hurt him though. It's gonna hurt him.
Yeah, he's gonna take a loss, but he's not going to prison, and he's not gonna be out the game. He'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, shit.
He's about to cake off on the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh yeah, right.
That's next week.
Bad Bunny. Bad.
Yeah.
Bunny.
It's gonna be big.
You gonna watch it?
No.
At least you honest.
But I'll talk about it.
How you gonna talk about it if you don't watch it though?
Maybe I will check it out.
Stop lying. Anyway, shit. We up out of here. Until next time.
Absolutely.